I love making these kind of videos. It's Q&A time. I posted on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook asking you all for your questions. I do these videos from time to time for the general public, but I actually do them almost weekly for my regular PhotoRec TV members. You can learn more about joining and being part of our community right down below this video. The first question comes from Jaylapointephotography. What do I think about the Canon 70-200 f4? Jim Cooney said, I'm not a pro like Mr. Toby, but I bought this lens a few months ago and it is fantastic. Jim Cooney, I agree with you. It is a fantastic value. It is travel friendly, which means lightweight, portable size, and it gives really nice, sharp, colorful, nice contrast to your images. I think it's one of the most or best value L lenses that Canon offers. Passing Ground wants to know, they're trying to find a photographer to assist, or are there other reputable websites to help network, or do I have other recommendations? This is a great question. I think this is the best way to learn photography, is to network with other individuals, be an assistant, be a gear hauler, work your way up. One of the best ways is to just Google search other photographers in your area that have a look and a style that you like and appreciate, and reach out to them. You'll get a lot of no's, but maybe one will say yes and you can work with them. Now we've got a question from RMom352. I'm just starting with wildlife/bird photography. How do you maintain sharp focus on moving birds? Lens suggestion for modest budget. Sony A7 Mark II. All right, well, you know, I hate to be like this, but that's a tricky camera to use for birds in flight. The A7 Mark II produces very lovely images, but it does not have the fastest focusing and a very high burst rate. That's frames per second. They can make it a lot easier. Birds in flight is one of the most difficult types of wildlife photography, in my opinion. Now, we've got somebody in my PhotoRec TV group that's been working hard at this for the last couple of years and is starting to produce some really beautiful images. They've recently written an article about it. I'll link that right down below in the description. But generally, what you want to do is you want to have it on continuous autofocus. You want to go ahead and let the camera choose the point now, because it's going to be faster choosing the point of the bird in flight than you are moving it around. And you want to put the camera on its highest frame rate possible. And you track that bird and fire off the frames as it's flying. The more frames you can fire off, the more likely you are to get one of them that's going to be in focus. Now, you also really have to watch your shutter speed here, because out at the wing tips, that is moving very rapidly with all birds, even big, wide wingspan birds like herons and owls. And if you want all of that sharp, you're going to have to be at a very high shutter speed. 1/1000th of a second, 1/1500th of a second, really to make sure you freeze all of that action. A great lens. See, this is a little bit of an issue with Sony right now. They have some very good lenses. They don't have any very long lenses that get me excited about bird photography, but decent ones. Did you say on a budget? Yeah, modest budget. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is their newish 70-300. Very nice, decent length. It's not really an exciting length, though, for birds in flight. You want to get out closer to 100-400, which they just released, their 100-400. It is a fantastic looking lens. I shot with it briefly at the Sony event last week or 2 weeks ago, but it's $2,500. That's not really a modest budget. So then you're looking at using adapters, but there are no adapted lenses that I can recommend that are fast enough for birds in flight at this time, and probably not any time in the near future, because it's a combination of the focusing system in the A7 Mark II plus an adapter plus a lens, and we're just not going to see anything that's going to be at that level to support that. Sorry.